I remember she said this inspired her and her daughter, and she's like going to let her daughter like expand in the world of art, because nobody really sees art as a viable method of like living or sustaining yourself. And if my daughter does choose like art, I'm completely fine with that. Knowing that we were able to impact her and impact her daughter's future life, that was like the best feeling ever. Yeah.
Coming to you straight from Fremont, California, this is the Fremont Podcast, dedicated to telling the stories of the past and present of the people and places of the city of Fremont, one conversation at a time.
Hello, Fremont. This is Elizabeth. You are listening to episode 68 of the Fremont Podcast.
Now, here's your host, Ricky B.
So I'm gonna have you guys introduce yourself. You start over here.
Okay, hi guys. I'm Shruti Ginka, 11th grader from American High School.
Hi, I'm Dravya. I'm a senior at John F. Kennedy High School.
And hi, I'm Arti Raghavan. I'm also a junior at American High.
I will say, first of all, before we get started, that recently I've had a few other high schoolers join me on the podcast. I found that a lot of the high schoolers that I'm meeting are really doing some amazing things, and you guys are right at the top of that list. I think that I got to meet you guys a few months ago now. It's been the first time that I saw you guys was at the Better Block. You guys were you had a whole event at the Better Block. I just remember going around Better Block and I saw you guys with a bunch of kids and they were drawing stuff out on the ground. So tell me, what were you guys doing there? Who wants to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so I guess I can talk about that. So
and your name again, Shruti?
Arti.
Arti. There you go. You're Shruti. Arti. Okay, we got you. Go.
Yeah, so the Better Block, we reached out to them initially, I think, in the summer or the beginning of the school year. And essentially what they wanted to do was sort of transform that street and that community to make it more vibrant and colorful for the community members. So in order to play a part in that, our station was essentially a street mural where we had a bunch of families and kids sort of take the time to come help paint the mural. So what happened was each kid had the chance to choose their sort of paint colors, and they would choose a puzzle piece that we drew out on the ground and sketched out, and they could color it whichever way they like, and we told them to write something that represents them or draw something that represents them within that puzzle piece. So it was really nice seeing all of the kids get in touch with their traditional art side and their creativity and create sort of this sort of art piece that blends together a bunch of communities. Specifically in that sort of area, in the Mission San Jose area, it's very diverse. So we saw a lot of families that were from different countries, had different origins, and it was really nice to see all of their different stories represented in that piece.
I love that. And I mean, you guys were a big hit there too. I mean, there was a lot of really cool things that happened there, but there was just a lot of people that gravitated to what you were doing.
Right. There were I think at any moment there were around 100 people there, and so many families, kids bringing their parents, and the parents were helping the kids paint. So it was really a beautiful event to see, and these kids painting and having fun. That's really just what we wanted to do at the end of the day.
I love that. So tell me, what is the Athena Project? Because that's what you guys have started. I have you on here because you're the Athena Project. I actually did a very quick 5-minute interview with you on Instagram. So tell me, what is the Athena Project?
Yeah, so I guess sort of just to summarize our mission, essentially what we want to do is bring traditional art to light. And through that, we hope to bring a bunch of community members together and represent their diversity and make sure that their voices are heard through the art projects that we create. So what's most important for us is to make sure that a lot of people are represented, because nowadays, there's a lot of hate crimes going around, and we feel like everyone's voice should be heard. You guys are all three part of the founding of the Athena Project. What is it that you guys each do? You can aim that to yourself there.
Okay, yeah. So I'm the outreach lead, so I participate mostly in trying to get other murals and contact other people that can connect us with resources. So that's mostly what I do.
Awesome. And you and so that's your role.
Yeah.
But I think you were out there at the I came to the Washington Hospital event as well. You were out there with that as well. So you kind of jump in on the actual hands-on part of this too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and part of a reason, or actually the whole reason why I joined the Athena Project is ever since I was young, I've always been like enthralled in the world of STEM. So like numbers, computer science, mathematics, that's always been my thing. But there's one part of my personality that's like art and colors and all of this crazy stuff. And I like that because art is such a cathartic like method. Yeah, it's like a wonderful way to relieve my stress, and joining the Athena Project is like the perfect way to synergize my passion for art and also my interest in engaging the community, and as Arti mentioned, like both bringing back traditional art forms and also making sure everybody is heard, because yeah, I feel like this is really important, especially in such a diverse city as Fremont.
Yeah, that's great. I think that actually getting other people involved and getting them putting stuff in front of them that helps them to see an expression of a particular people or a particular group, or or whatever, I think is fantastic. So I can totally relate to the idea of just like you have a certain part of you that is kind of like geared one way, but then all of a sudden you're like, no, but I love this, and I want to be involved in this, and I love the mission behind this as well. So
yeah, as you mentioned, there are a lot of other high schoolers out there that share similar passions, and this was a good way to like connect them with an organization that can help them like fulfill those passions. And also, we mentioned that one of the reasons we started this is because we wanted to bring back traditional art forms, because it has become a lot more digitalized. People are losing touch with their artistic sides. So this was a great way, like physically, when we all put our paintbrush to the same like project, it's connecting us in a way that we can't do through Zoom or we can't do virtually. So that physical aspect of it is a really binding factor for everybody who works together. Yeah.
That's great. I was actually just thinking about this maybe even earlier today. It was very recent. I was just thinking about the fact that we lose the experience of like tactile, engagement or experiences, right? And so when instead of just doing, and digital media is great because it serves a great purpose in certain things, but the truth is that there is something very unique and very special about doing something with your hands and actually experience. I mean, I even remember at the Washington Hospital Project, I showed up for a little while. I don't know if I was there for half an hour, 45 minutes or something like that. But then you guys were all getting ready to go to lunch, and you were putting all the brushes down and stuff. And I was like, you need to take care of the brushes before you put them away, because there's even more of a, you're kind of bound to the laws of science. They're going to dry out if they're left sitting out or whatever, and so there's, I think there's elements of that are just really, really important to like just the humanity or the world that we live in around us as well. So Shruti, tell us a little bit about how did you get involved in this?
So prior to Dravya joining, I was doing the main outreach for the organization. So I was reaching out to a variety of places. Actually, for the Washington Hospital thing, it actually took up a lot of our time because we were reaching out to literally every location in Fremont, like boba stores, donut shops, restaurants, like so many outlets. And finally, we found Gisela, and I was just maintaining connections with her throughout the summer, and then as well as outreaching with the city of Fremont to find the olive hide, and then later be connected to Better Block with Kristen. So mainly doing the outreach and organizing events, as well as reaching out to different directors to see like potential partnerships. So that's basically my role.
That's cool. That's cool. And Arthi, what's your role, or when did you get involved? Well, first of all, I think I asked you guys this on the Instagram video, but who started this?
It was me and Arthi. It was a collaborative effort. I think we both did it together. I initially proposed the idea to Arthi, but then Arthi brought it to a different step. We pivoted. We actually had to pivot in June or July end when we couldn't do our initial idea. So then Arthi suggested the mural ideas, and then we started reaching out from there.
That's awesome. Arthi, tell me about what it was like for you to be part of the beginning of this.
Yeah, so, before this sort of came to fruition, I remember one day Shruti and I were just walking home from school, and she sort of proposed the idea. Both of us were taking AP European history at the time, and that's a sort of history that focuses a lot on art and the different art styles over time. So initially, while we were trying to do a sort of art fair in the summer, and while that didn't work out, we started to do more on the researching side, and we began to research all these different types of art styles, specifically in European history, but also in other countries around the world. And when we sort of saw the diversity that comes along with each country, we wanted to expand that to more youth artists. So we started talking, Shruti and I believe Dravya also towards the latter end, to a bunch of youth artists from several countries. I believe we've reached out to over 50 countries now. And
that's incredible.
Yeah, and we basically interviewed all of them and wrote short articles on them. So not only would they get exposure and they'd be more connected to sort of this forum of artists, but also for people to see how being in a different country and being exposed to that country's culture can affect your art style.
That's awesome. We'll be right back. You can hear the rest of this conversation in just a moment.
Hello Fremont, this is Andrew. I'm checking in on Ricky at Own It Fitness. He started going to class after episode 56, where he interviewed the owner, Miguel. We're checking in on him after class today. Hey Ricky.
What's up, man?
Who was your trainer tonight?
Yeah, so my trainer was Fabiola. She works with Miguel, and she's done a fantastic job. She's the trainer that's overseeing this particular camp. But Miguel also comes in every once in a while and works with us as well. Fabiola is fabulous.
When's your next workout?
My next workout is Friday.
And what are you going to be doing on Friday?
Right now we're in a sequence change. So Friday I think we're just going to be working slowly, working on different muscles. Not a bunch of cardio. It's just going to be slow muscle movement, flexibility.
And where are we?
Yeah, we're on the corner of Blakau and Maori. It's kind of hidden away, but if you Google it, you can find it pretty easily. If you just park in the parking lot behind the building, you can find it right inside the little square here.
If people want to go here, what should they do?
Yeah, Own It Fitness. You can go to their Instagram. They post stuff there. You can also go to, I believe it's ownmyfitness.com. But you can look for Own It Fitness on Google, or you can go to their Instagram, and you can connect with them there. They've got all kinds of personal training options. They've got class options. They got a lot of different things going on, and they just expanded their space. So they practically doubled their workout space, which is fantastic. It gives a lot of room for everyone to be doing their own workout.
Dale Hardware is now ready to open their own pet center. Now you can get all of your pet supplies. You can get everything you need for your furry friends right at Dale Hardware. On top of that, Dale Hardware is the only hardware store in the country that has a destination center for Milwaukee tools. There are more Milwaukee tools under that roof than any other retail establishment in the country. Even with these big changes, the heart of Dale Hardware has not changed. So come on down to Dale Hardware and let a specialist help you find exactly what you're looking for with the type of care and attention that hasn't changed for over 65 years. Buying a home is a big decision. When I'm trying to make a big decision in my life, I turn to family. Family generally has my well-being in mind. They want the best for me. Whenever I visit Jennifer at Petrocelli Homes in Niles, she treats me like family. If you're in the process of buying or selling a home, turn to family. Turn to Petrocelli Homes. And now, back to our conversation. Where did you guys publish the articles?
They're on our website right now, but we also created like small posts on Instagram to get more exposure that way. But I'd like to say like a huge part of our success is basically our global artist support from around the world. We could have not done it without them and their support, as well as like we did a couple of like interactive reels with them to get a little bit more social media recognition. So like all of this like follower buildup that we've made so far is just based on their support and how they've like kind of hyped us up through our Instagram posts.
That's awesome. That's very, very cool. So you guys are in high school, and high school's already busy, and we actually had a little bit of a hard time getting scheduled to do this interview. Like we've been talking about this for months, right? So you guys have been busy. So apart from art and the Athena Project, what do you guys spend your time on, or is this kind of like consume a lot of what you do?
So the main other activity I do is debate, which I'm sure is all of the people here know, takes up a lot of time. You have to go
yeah.
to competitions regularly, and I think that's one of the main factors that contributed to the delay of this interview. But since my season's kind of over now, I've had a lot more time to put towards the Athena Project, and that's why we're starting to get more projects happening. Yeah.
That's cool. What about you?
So the Athena Project is a very like a passionate like organization for me. Like I really just put in time out of love, and I've never seen it as a responsibility or as like something that I have to do for college or anything like that. It's just something that I've been doing out of love for art. But apart from the Athena Project, I'm really interested in the medicine field. So I've been doing some organization-related stuff for that and STEM-related career building organizations. So most of my time is catered towards the Athena Project and taking care of responsibilities for these other organizations that I'm part of. But yeah, I mean, like whatever free time I have, it's spent towards other work that I have to take care of.
That's great. What about you?
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, I'm deeply interested in STEM. So a few years ago, I did start this organization called Smart Switch.
Do you have another organization?
Yeah. And
You're like part of two organizations? Or how many? You have 3, 4? No.
I can't count. Yeah.
So you have another organization you were part of?
Yeah, so I co-founded Smart Switch, and what we do is we create remotely controlled light switches. I started this because I got COVID in sophomore year, and I was like too lazy to get up repeatedly from my bed and turn off the light, and then it was kind of a hassle to keep calling my sister like on my phone. I'd have to call her to turn off the light. So I was like, all right, let me just like put computer science to a practical use here. And then I was able to start that with.
So you started a smart switch company?
Yes.
Wow. Like, are you actually building the switches yourself?
Yeah, so I've been able to 3D print a few, and then we sold a few for like actual money, and then we were able to donate a few as well to the disabled, like a few disabled organizations. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, this is on a completely different track than what we were on, but is this, so are you looking at pursuing this more, making this kind of also a big part of what you want to do?
Yeah, so I was hoping in college, I definitely do want to major in something STEM related, but I would love to take like a business course or like some type of business internship. So I would be able to leverage Smart Switch into a nonprofit and not like sell for money anymore, just be able to produce for people that need it.
That's awesome. That's a surprise. I didn't know about that. That's cool. So let's go back to real quick about, let's go back to the Athena Project. And let's talk a little bit about what projects you've already done. So we talked a little bit Better Block. Was that one of the first things that you guys did, was Better Block?
So we did a little bit of virtual projects. I think it's Artists of the World. So I think from that project, we've interviewed around 50 artists from several countries around the globe. That was one of our initiatives. Another one of our initiatives was Artists, something about Muse. I don't really remember. Maybe Artie can talk about it.
Yeah, it was essentially I don't remember the title, but the project was essentially about asking these youth artists who they're inspired by. Because the world of art is so interconnected. Like, people obviously have their inspirations. So we also wanted to give recognition and a sort of shout out to these other artists who are inspiring the current youth population.
That's cool. Then you did Better Block.
And then Washington Hospital's mural, and then we have a couple to do in this calendar year.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about the Washington Project, because I think that the Washington Hospital Project, that was something that was really cool. I think that's the first time I got involved with what you guys were doing. You guys were looking at trying to raise funds to be able to get the supplies that you needed and the paint and everything like that. And I was able to connect you with Debbie from Dale Hardware. And then also the Fremont Podcast was very happy to donate some money to help you guys.
We're so grateful for your support.
Absolutely, yeah. It was a privilege, and I enjoyed coming out and watching. I was only there for a little bit of time. Would love to have been there the entire time, but the mural turned out very, very nice, and you guys just did a fantastic job with that. So that's really, really, really great. And then we did talk about, not on here yet, but you have projects that are in the works. What are some of the projects that you have coming up?
So Masonic Homes, we want to do like an art assembly with all the senior citizens at Masonic, and we're partnering with the Arts and Baking Club at American High School for the funds, and we want to bring youth volunteers from our school student body to help with organizing the art assembly, and we want to do like canvas projects with the senior citizens. So that's Masonic Homes event. Currently, I'm talking to David Bible, the resident experience coordinator from Masonic. And then I think actually from our Instagram post that we did with Fremont Podcast, Room Redux reached out to us. And they were,
nice.
So they've reached out to me, and I'm talking to Tracy right now. And we're looking to book a room for the month of April to help with the domestic violence. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, we had Room Redux on the podcast, I think episode 3, and I'm also helping out with their big fundraiser in April, so that'll be a big thing. But I'm glad that you guys connected together. That's awesome. Very, very cool. So I want to ask you real quick, I think we did talk about this before, but on the Instagram video, but you guys, is the Athena Project an actual nonprofit? Like, is it an actual business?
Yeah, so we recently got the status approved.
Yay! Congrats.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work. I've been a part of like organizations forming, and that's just a lot of work. So congratulations.
Yeah, so we were able to actually cooperate with this organization called Hack Plus. I think Shruti knows more about on that end, but essentially one of the organizers of that organization sort of helped us with the funds and the technicalities of starting a nonprofit, and he helped us get that status pretty quickly. And in the past, we've been able to hold a few fundraisers, I think, right?
So Jamsheen, he helped us get the physical status, and we are doing this through a physical sponsorship. So we got, I think, 501c3 status pretty quickly, and they gave us our own bank account and everything, so it helps us like start our own. It helps us start our own nonprofit pretty quickly. As for the fundraisers, we were able to raise a little bit of money through Chipotle, and we continue to do them throughout the year, or we want to so far.
And I found that you guys have expanded. Is that right? With that, I mean, at least when I looked at it, I saw Athena Project in Arizona, and then I was like, wait a minute, this isn't them, but it was you. So tell me a little bit about that. Like, how did you guys get to Arizona?
Yeah, so I initially reached out, or some girl from a summer program reached out to me after seeing our Instagram account, and she was also very passionate about art. I think she said she did some art projects in the past, but she wanted to expand her passion for it. So I asked her, if you can get a team together in Arizona, which is where she's located, then we can help you from there and try to get a chapter started. So she got a team together after communicating with her for a few months, and we were able to ask them to, try to get a mural project started over there. So they actually reached out to the local museum over there, and they were able to get a sort of approval to have an art project there, which is pretty big. So what we were thinking is that when they are able to do that, we'll fly over there and try to take some pictures there.
That's cool. So is this going to be an actual extension of what you do, or is this going to be like a franchise, or how is this going to work?
It'll just be like another chapter of our main organization. I think for what we've decided so far is that they don't have to really start from the ground up. They can just take our name and start building from there. So we just kind of want them to do more murals in a different area and bring their own creative aspects to it.
What do you guys anticipate being like the long game on this? Like, where do you guys see this going? Is this going to be something that when you graduate from high school and you go on to do other things that it's just going to go away, or do you kind of expect it to kind of like grow from here?
I think, especially me being the only senior here, I think I'm definitely going to try and start a club at whichever college I choose to go to, so I can expand it there, hopefully recruit students as well. And then my sister is in middle school actually, so I'm asking her like if she wants to do one at her school as well, because she's also interested in this. She's actually the opposite of me, so she's completely world of art, little bit math, little bit STEM, but mostly art. So yeah, this is a perfect opportunity for her and for us as well.
That's great. What about the rest? What about both of you?
So I don't think we've really discussed that yet, but we definitely want to continue doing mural projects, even if that means it's not as regular when we're off to college. I think, or even continue it through our like siblings and having them take it on while we're in college.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also have a younger sister who's, like Dravia said, the complete opposite of me. She also really likes music and art. And she's been wanting to come to some of the events. So she was there for a little bit at the Washington Hospital event, and she was really amazed by what we were doing. So I do hope that she'll continue it. In terms of when we graduate, I know that a lot of the colleges I've toured with, since my cousins are also graduating, I know a lot of them do have murals on site. Specifically, I know Stanford is very big on art and diversity, so I do have connections there. So I think if possible, we would probably try to start something at our colleges that we decide to go to.
What has been perhaps your favorite or proudest moment since you guys have started the Athena Project? Like, what has been the thing when you look back and you say, if nothing else happened, but this one thing happened, I am just so proud of that, or I'm so glad that I got to be involved in that. What would that be for each of you?
My moment is when we've met Kimberly Hartz, the CEO of Washington Township, and she was basically talking about how our mural was very beautiful for their campus, and she's really proud of our accomplishments for the Athena Project. And seeing her appreciate our work and seeing the doctors, she also let us know that the doctors and all of her staff that she's reached out to, letting them know about the project, we're really proud of our work so far. And seeing that really made me inspired and happy, because that was what we were trying to do, bring a change to the patients at Washington and to the doctors there.
I love that.
Yeah.
Very cool. Arthi?
Yeah, so aside from obviously the Washington Hospital, and I also know about the mother that was there at that project, I think the first main project we did was the Better Block, so I'd say that was sort of my most inspiring moment, especially seeing all the little kids, like even though they probably didn't know what they wanted to do in the future, just seeing them so passionate about art and seeing them also driven to, help make the mural the way that it was. I think that kind of warmed my heart, especially since when I was young, I really liked doing art. I would have like sketchbooks and everything from that with me all the time. So just seeing them have like so much passion and so much love for art just really touched me.
That's great.
So for me, at our Washington Hospital mural, there were mostly high school students that were receiving service hours for their contributions, but there was this one mother-daughter duo. I believe the daughter was like 2 or 3 or 5.
Yeah.
Okay, she was 5, but she was genuinely there for the love of, like, because she actually enjoyed art. And then I remember after the mural was done, like the mother and I were just like catching up over coffee, and I remember she said that like this inspired her and her daughter, and she's like going to let her daughter like expand in the world of art, because nobody really sees art as at least not in like the Bay Area, at least not in the Silicon Valley. People see art as a viable method of like living or sustaining yourself. Yeah. And then she's like, I've seen what high schoolers are able to do with this, how you've been able to implement your passions like in a practical way.
Yeah.
And if my daughter does choose like art, I'm completely fine with that. And then knowing that we were able to impact her and impact her daughter's future life, that was like the best feeling ever.
I love that. That is really, really cool. Well, I love what you guys are doing. You guys are actually inspiring me, and I love seeing all that you're involved in. And I hope that you continue to do that. And even as you kind of choose your different paths or go down the different roads that you're planning on going down, that in some way that you can continue to be an inspiration. Because I do think that even the journey that it took for you guys to get here where you are is significant. It's a significant thing, and it's important that you not just become a doctor or become something in STEM or whatever you're going to do, but you actually learn that people matter, that community matters, and that the people around you really, if you can become a doctor, but if you don't really care about people or community, then you're really just doing it for yourself. And I think that's something that I feel I don't ever anticipate from you guys. I see that you guys are doing. You have something else that's going on inside of you. So I just think that's really, really great. So if people wanted to learn more about you, if they wanted to maybe be involved in one of your projects or maybe even help in a project in Arizona. So tell us what we need to know so that we can stay in touch with you and we can help you do everything that you're doing. So who wants to give me all the credentials here?
Yeah, so I'd say the best way to reach us would be through Instagram. I'm sure Ricky can
us.
Yeah, we'll add
on
it to the show
Instagram.
notes here. Yeah, but people
On our Instagram, we have our website, which has most of our information, and that has a contact page as well. So if you ever need to reach out to us, I'd say either through website or through Instagram would be the best way. In terms of future projects, we'd love to have everyone, whoever can collaborate and join us would be the best.
Usually, when we have projects, we put like Instagram posts out like around 3 weeks in advance, and it has like a Google form for signups, and then we later maintain contact with all the volunteers. You guys can always feel free to DM us through Instagram. Our is at Athena at Athena__project, PROJ, and so feel free to DM us, email us. I think all of our contact is on the Instagram page itself.
Well, girls, thank you so much for being on the podcast. Thank you for doing the work that you do in our community. Thank you for making a great effort to bring our community together and to bring attention to the parts of our community that we need to be reminded of. So thank you so much for all of that.
Thank you for letting us share a story.
Yeah, absolutely.
This episode was hosted and produced by Ricky B. I'm Gary Williams. Andrew Cavett is the editor. Music is provided through soundstripe.com. You can find links to our social media and other content at thefremontpodcast.com. Be sure to subscribe wherever it is that you listen so you don't miss an episode. And if you're so inclined, leave a kind review so that others can find the podcast. Join us next week on the Fremont Podcast.
There's a rooster. Is that a rooster or a duck? Or that's a rooster. Why is there a rooster at the park? Why are you at the park? What are you doing here? Did you escape from someone's backyard? I'm kneeling down to see if it will come toward me, if it's like been peopleized. Is that a word? This witness? Okay, you're headed off in another direction. All right, fair enough.
This is a Muggins Media podcast.